There's no metal worth keeping back here. Sometimes you just got. Final time. Hello everyone, welcome back to Maverick Mods. Today's the day, replacing the roof. You know, I scoured the YouTube channels, the interwebs, looking for any videos out there where somebody had actually replaced the entire roof structure, including the A-pillars. Couldn't find anything. Lots of videos where guys have just reskinned the roof. So maybe I'm breaking ground here. Maybe there's something out there that I just missed. No matter what, hopefully, ought to be entertaining. So at the beginning of the big day, my friend Mike helped me out tremendously. Big shout out to him. Could not have done this without his help. But he's a retired firefighter, and he asked me before we started, when was the last time you actually took the roof off a car? And I said, about 15 years ago, the last street stock that I built. He's like, oh, well, I've cut the roof off a lot of cars. So I handed him the Sawzall. Figured, hey, may as well, if you got a professional, use them. So here we go. Here we go. I've subbed out, cutting the roof off. Think we can do it, or do we need extra hands? What do you think? Oh, heck. I was expecting worse.
3 on the nose, the roof's off the car.
Exactly. And just so everybody knows why we're doing this, this whole area right in here completely rotted out. Somebody tried to do a repair there. It's completely rotted back here. Not too bad on this side, but if you come back over, this is part of the roof structure right here, or what's left of it. There's no metal worth keeping back here. Sometimes you just got to do that. That right there is what happens when you have a bad sunroof installation. The thing leaks water over the life of the car. I'm committed now. Ain't no going back from this. New roof has got to go on. So if we take a look at the new roof structure here, obviously a whole lot better shape than the old one. The rear portions will be pretty easy. Basically it just lays right on top. There's a shelf here, and that just drops. I'll show you the shelf on the quarter support. Spot welds here. This overlaps the quarter itself, spot welds to the quarter. The factory actually had some actual welds along the side. I'll replicate that. Where at initial glance it might get a little bit more complicated is on the A-pillars. So this came to us pretty much exactly like this, where there's a structure right along here. And this, I'll go over to the card and show you. So if you take a look, we've got a one piece coming down here. We got another piece coming across here. This is actually 3 pieces of metal. So we have the outer portion, we've got a center portion, which is actually here, and then there's a U-channel back up in here that comes down and extends down to here. So over on the car, as we can see, here's the outer section. The center section is actually this piece right here. This is the one that comes out forward and extends down about 3 inches, following the cowl. And underneath, here's our U section. Here's our U section, ending down here. And on the inside, you can't really see much, but here is the center section of that A-pillar coming along here. It's actually under the door jamb, upper portion of the door jamb here. So it would be this piece right up in here. Of course, on the rear portion of the roof, this is the portion where that flat panel just rests on, and we'll spot weld inner quarter support and on the lip here to the quarter itself. So I'll be honest with you guys. My experience with cutting roofs off and then reinstalling said roof back onto the same car, it starts and ends with race cars, where we would cut the roof structure off to make it easier to put a roll bar in it, say for a street stock for a circle track racer. A little bit easier in that circumstance because we're not really putting the strength back in the roof, we're just facilitating things to make it easier to install a roll bar. In this case, my initial thought was, let's just cut the pillars, get the rod out of the way, and weld the pillars at some point fairly close to the body. Not going to work in this case, and I'll show you why. So inside the pillar itself, like I said before, we've got a U-channel here. This is the outer structure, but we also have a third piece of metal here, and all this is sandwiched together. So a good portion of the strength is also going to be in this center channel. I'm assuming that center channel extends all the way up to the top of the A-pillar. I've got to be able to access this. If I were to cut this piece at some point along here, along here, I still have to be able to access this piece in order to weld it back. Otherwise, I'm losing a lot of the strength of the roof. But there's a solution. And the easiest solution is, we're not removing the cowl panel, but we are going to remove a section of the cowl panel. I'll mark this out and show you, but I'm going to cut the cowl panel, just the top of it, along here, down here, to about right there, and remove this on both sides. That gives me all the access I need to prop the spot welds loose on the A-pillar here, and I can access the spot welds on the A-pillar here. And of course, I've also got access back here. There's a couple of them right up here. So let me mark this out, and I'll show you what the plan is. Let's do a little marking and measuring. We'll use tape to tape off the part of the cowl I'm going to remove. I can see the part that I need to remove. I also need to take just enough of the cowl away that we don't have to do a whole lot of maneuvering to get the A-pillars just to set in place. The idea is, if I can remove this and get the old A-pillar off, then I should be able just to set the new A-pillar down in its location. It's never that easy, but that's the plan. So let's mark it I can see, so I'm going to take it to about right there. Right there. It's always a good idea to mark which side of the tape you want to cut. Now this needs to extend kind of straight down. Well, I can adjust that as necessary. Now I need to measure the A-pillar. So I need to measure the A-pillar to see how far down this flange goes. So this is the flat portion here, which I'm going to cut out to here. So if I take the bend, my maximum depth is 3 inches. I'll go a little farther than that. This is the lip that's flat on the cowl. So I'm okay here. So I'll just take and measure out. So I've got 3 inches, basically straight down. All right, so just to make sure I've got enough room, so there's my 3 inches. So I'm going to take this a little bit farther. I'm going to take it about another ½ inch or so. Another thing you got to think about is I've got to leave myself enough room to be able to get the welder in here, because I have to put this piece back. So I'll duplicate this on the other side and we'll start cutting. Okay, so I got my area I'm going to cut out taped off, both sides. Get out the cutting wheel. After that, spot weld cutter, because then I've got to take all the spot welds out to be able to pull this off. After a slight amount of effort, there she comes. A little bit of cleanup inside of here, a couple more spot welds, and we'll be able to get this off. spin the legs behind.
You want to just put a hand on it and I'll go to the other side?
Got it.
Coming down slowly. Actually, looks like it's on a perfect angle. Yeah, that's.
I'm looking good on this side.
I'm looking good over here.
Did
Hang
you
on.
slip in?
Yeah, I gotta get underneath there. There we go. Okay.
That's it.
There it
Let
is.
it down a little more.
Yeah.
Stop. You just roll the stand out just a second. Miley? Yes. Okay, now let down. Let me see if I can get this finished. Get the slack. I don't think you have enough slack for yourself. That's the problem. Slack, like, I think you have to just let it down.
Let the weight come on it. It
It's almost, actually, I think it's there.
looks
On
pretty
this side.
good.
I'm where I need to be on this, or I'm damn close on this side.
Because this one's pretty good.
Is it? Okay.
Like it's supposed to be there. There's a weight is up.
All right.
Check this out, Bill.
What you got? Actually, this one is supposed to come back a little bit like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Oh, all right.
So in fact, yeah,
This is perfect now.
this is pretty damn close there. It's gonna take a little banging
Yeah,
and
a little finesse.
yeah, but
Yeah, but look, that just rolled right in.
yeah,
Just a little pressure.
yeah. I'm actually a little bit forward on this side.
This is looking really good. You want to throw clamps on, or?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. You did figure it clamp.
Yeah, well, temporary. That's gonna be a blow buster. Uh-oh. Right in the vice grip. Of course.
Definitely don't want to talk too early, but I don't know if it could have went much better. $33 and 3/8.
33 and 3/8 exactly.
That's where it wants to be.
Yep. Perfect. And let's do the cross like we did before.
Okay.
Right there. Okay, so that's 83 and 7/8. And I'm at 84 and 1/8, so we're a 1/4 inch off, but
That's got to come down.
I think I need to bring this down, and that will 71 and 11/16. And that one 71 and 9/16. So we're an 1/8 off. So if we're an 1/8 shorter here, let me fix that corner first, because we know that's an issue. Remeasure it, and then see what happens. How's that? All right, let's try that. $82 and 11/16. That's pretty consistent. 70 and 13/16. We're 1/16 off.
That could have been just how I was holding it.
Yeah.
16th.
And let's check the center. We should still be right where we need to be on
Yeah.
that. Let's see how that could change. Make as many marks as you think is necessary. So it can go back in this spot. I'm gonna have to spend a little time banging on some of this metal to get it back in shape, but explain to me how, when you have one of those goofy new polarized plugs, right? Bigger one, smaller one. Statistics says that 50% of the time you get it right the first time, but 95% of the time you get it wrong the first time. How does that work?
How they come up with the numbers?
I did. I just made that up. All right.
It's gonna be. What are you trying to say?
Well, you got maybe 20 pounds on me, but
What do you need?
I
Down?
push down. I just put straight down here, like even get you on it. Okay, good. Okay. All right, let me crank the welder up, fill some craters, we'll grind it down, set her back down, hopefully for the final time. All right, so this is what, the 4th time the roof has gone on? Everything in place. So we've got the sheet metal screws in. Lock it in. Well, I pulled it in. Okay. All right, I'll do that for the other corners, and then the roof comes off again.
Hopefully last time.
Yeah. Fingers crossed last time. All right, final time.
Yep, done.
Yeah, my holes are lined up. There it is. Okay.
Good.
Yep. Vacuum out some chips. Watch your eyes.
Yep.
Well, we had a long, hard day yesterday, but the new roof structure is on. I've got it spot welded in 2 or 3 spots, all 4 corners. We've remeasured it. It measures out square. Couldn't be happier. It's not done yet though, obviously. I've got a ton of plug welds that I still have to do. So the plan will be, I'm going to start at each corner. I'm going to put in probably 2 plug welds per corner at a time, just to keep the heat buildup down until I'm satisfied that it's in permanently. Firebird has a new roof. It's a pretty big step, but not done yet. Next episode, I'll focus on finishing up the roof install and then turn my focus to getting the tail panel installed, getting the quarters locked in permanently, and get the kind of the back end of the car back in shape. Certainly appreciate everybody watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It certainly would help me out. Everybody, have a great day.